financial services can be given. So if you don't mind, I'm going to stop my video, but I'm going to share my screen so there's a better flow and it's going to be a better experience for everybody. Thank you. There we go. So you should be able to see my screen now. All right. So like you said, my name is Elizabeth. I am from the Outreach Department for Service Canada. I'm a senior citizen service specialist in Windsor for Service Canada Centre. And I'm joining you from the Three Fire Confederacy. And I do recognize that many of you in this webinar are also joining us from different territories where treaties all have been done or not. So without further ado, I'd just like to emphasize that the presentation that I'm going to give you today is intended to give you basic information about old age programs and services. And with that, I'm going to tell you more about who we are per se. Let me see if I can advance that. Yes, all right. So Service Canada was really created in 2005, and that was to facilitate the delivery of programs and services by making access to those programs and services in a faster, easier, and more convenient way. So the Service Canada is the federal institution that is part of the Employment and Social Development Canada. So it's part of that ministry. And you can reach us the way that is more convenient for you. So there's several ways to do that. The 24/7 way, I would say, is through the canada.ca website. And the previous presenter shared as well some link to that for you, because it's a wealth of information in that website, canada.ca. It is really easy to remember. And also, you also have the possibility for an agent from Service Canada to call you back if you want. And for that, you need to send an online request by going to eservices.canada.ca. So we can certainly call you back. Usually it's called back within 1 to 2 business days, and you will receive the information that you are looking for. Another way as well to reach us is by calling 1-800-O-Canada, which is the toll-free number, and it's always a live person that answers you. And if they cannot answer your question, they will direct you to the right department. So again, 1-800-O-Canada, it's also easy to remember. So let's dive into the Canada Retirement Income System. So as you can see, there is the public pension and there is the private pension. So the public pension is one of the 3 pillars, if I would say, that forms the income system for retirement in Canada. So under the public pensions, you have the Old Age Security Program, and that's the one that we will be mainly focusing today. But there's also the Canada Pension Plan Program, or the Quebec Pension Plan Program. And then you have the private. The private is the 3rd pillar. It's the private pension that you have when you have savings with either your employer or ex-employer, but also with a retirement savings such as investment. It can be the RRSP, it can be the tax-free saving accounts. Any accounts like that will be considered a private pension. So today I'm going to really concentrate on the old age security program, because that one is the one that you probably want to know more about, because it's linked with your income as well, with your annual income. So what is the old age security program? Basically, it's one of the largest benefits that you can have, and it is a public pension, so it's part of the public pension, but it is the one that you do not have to have contributed to in order to receive it. But there's still eligibility to be able to receive it. So what it is a program that is eligible for any seniors that are 65 years old or over that age, and that are residing in Canada, who have been residing in Canada. And I will go more deeply into that. Basically, there's 4 benefits under the Old Age Security Act. So under that umbrella of old age security, there is 4 programs. So 4 benefits. There's the old age security pension per se, that is paid to eligible seniors when you reach 65, or if you are older than that. And there's the guaranteed income supplement. That one is paid to low-income seniors that are already receiving the old age security, and that falls under a low-income threshold. And then there's the allowance. First, there's the allowance under the old age security. That one provide a non-taxable income for low-income seniors that are between the age of 60 and 64, and who are the spouse or common law of someone who is already receiving the old age and the guaranteed income supplement, or the spouse or common law of someone that is eligible to receive the old age and the guaranteed income supplement. And then there's the last one, which is the allowance for the survivor. And that one provides a non-taxable income for low-income seniors who are between the age of 60 and 64 years of age, and whose spouse or common law partner has passed away, and that spouse or common law partner was eligible for the old age and the guaranteed income supplement as well. So I'm going to talk more about the eligibility, but I'm also going to talk about if you are living in Canada and what is the entitlement for that. So if you are a senior that is currently living in Canada, or if you intend to continue to live in Canada, in order to receive the old age security pension, you must be at least 65 years old, and you must have lived in Canada for a minimum of 10 years after the age of 18. So the old age security pension is based on your legal status and your residency in Canada. So you must be a Canadian citizen or a legal resident of Canada at the time that you are approved for this pension. And you must have lived in Canada for a minimum of 10 years after the age of 18. So under the current rule, if someone is not sponsored, or if a sponsorship agreement has been broken, the old age security benefits can be paid to that qualifying person. And there's also what we call the social security agreement. And I'm going to talk about that a bit later, more in detail. But if you have worked or lived outside Canada, and Canada has an agreement with that country where you lived and worked, then you may be able to receive or to be eligible for the old age security pension by meeting the 10 years residency that way as well, with the agreement that we have with the other country. But let's look at if you want to live outside Canada and receive your pension. So the eligibility, if you live outside Canada, first of all, or if you know someone who lives outside Canada, if they want to receive the old age security pension, they must complete a paper application. It cannot be done online. And then they have to just forward that paper application to the Service Canada mailing address, and I'll give that in a moment. But in order to receive the old age security pension, there's also a minimum minimum residency and legal status that needs to be made. If you have not have a minimum of 20 years of residence in Canada, then you are not eligible for it unless you can benefit from the Social Security agreement between two countries where you are working, where you worked and lived. So what is the legal status? You must submit your citizenship or your immigration document when you first came in Canada, in the case that if you are an immigrant here, or if you were born in Canada, you need to show your Canadian birth certificate. So it's very important for someone who is newcomers or someone who is an immigrant here to keep the paperwork that they receive when they first landed in Canada and received their immigration paper at the border. Now, if you have not lived continuously in Canada since the age of 18, you may be asked to submit the proof of all the dates when you arrived in Canada, but also when you left Canada. So all your passports, it can be your visa, any tickets airline, any bus tickets, sorry, or anything that would prove that you were continuously living in Canada or living abroad. So you can certainly check Service Canada, or you can certainly check the Canada.ca website for more information on that. So here's an example for you. Maria is 65 years old and she has lived in Canada, but now she's planning to move to Italy and live there for the rest of her life. She is a permanent resident here in Canada, and she has been residing in Canada for the past 24 years. So Maria would be eligible to receive a old age security pension. That's going to be a taxable pension because she is 65, she is a permanent resident of Canada, and she has over 20 years of residency in Canada. Okay, so because of that, she will be able to receive an old age pension outside of Canada. So now let's look at the qualifying for the old age security pension. So like I said, to receive your pension, you must be 65 years old or older. But to receive the full amount of the old age pension, you must have resided in Canada for at least 40 years after the age of 18. And seniors who have lived in Canada all their lives are then entitled to receive a full pension of old age security. Now, if you have not lived in Canada for 40 years after the age of 18, there may be other ways to qualify for a full pension through the security agreement between two countries, so between Canada and another country. But for the case of Maria that we just spoke about, she will receive the amount worth of 24 years out of 40 years. That's going to be called a partial old age security pension. So she's not going to be able to receive the full pension. She will be able to receive a partial old age security pension. So the minimum residence requirements to qualify for a partial pension is 10 years after reaching the age of 18. So if you resided in Canada for 1 full year before the day your application is approved, so you may qualify for that portion of and that partial old age security pension under an international social security agreement. But if there's no agreement between Canada and the country where you have lived and worked, then you need to wait to have the 10 years of residency in Canada in order to receive the partial old age security pension. And once the partial pension is approved, that's the same for the full old age security pension, then every year the payment will go up with the cost of living. So usually 4 times a year. And for someone who receives a partial pension when it's approved, additional years of residency in Canada will continue to accumulate towards meeting the 20 years residency requirement for portability of that old age pension outside Canada. So basically you can start receiving your partial pension here in Canada, and if you decide to go abroad and live abroad, you will continue to receive it as long as you will meet the 20-year residency requirement. So let's talk about the guaranteed income supplement, and that's a supplement that really helps low-income seniors with their financial. So Service Canada implemented a process of guaranteed income supplement as with the Canada Revenue Agency. So the guaranteed income supplement is based on the income, and that's why it's very, very important that you file your income tax before the end of April of each year in order for the public pension to calculate your guaranteed income supplement. If you reach the age of 64 and after, I would say, a couple of months, you received a letter from Service Canada stating that you are automatically enrolled into the old age service pension, old age security pension and guaranteed income supplement, then you do not have to apply for that public pension. You are automatically enrolled because that's an automatic process, enrollment process that Service Canada has implemented lately. So, but for clients that have not, or for seniors, I should say, that reach the age of 64 and after 4 or 5 months, they have not received a letter, they probably have not been selected for the automatic enrollment. And in that case, you need to apply for the old age pension and the guaranteed income supplement. And it's now done in one form. Instead of having 2 forms, it's only 1 form. You can also apply for that online, and I'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Currently, it is suggested that you apply 6 months prior to your 65th birthday or prior to the date you wish to receive your pension to ensure that your application is processed in a timely manner. So now, how to apply online? It's done through My Service Canada account, and it's a secure online portal that lets you apply but also view and update any information regarding not only your public pensions, but also your employment insurance, for example. And when you log into that My Service Canada account, you can log in through your bank if you do online banking or through the GC key. Once you are logged in, then you can view your application. You can apply, you can view the status of your application, but you can also change any personal information, such as your address, your phone number, your direct deposit, and anything like that. You can also give consent for someone to communicate with Service Canada about your public pension on your behalf. So there's many tools for that. That's also all that I'm talking about here is also available on the Canada.ca website. And there's a portal just for seniors that you can, that you certainly can click on and get into. So when you are when you're on the page of Canada.ca, you can certainly scroll down the bottom of Canada.ca main page and click on departments and agencies. And then you will have all the departments of the government. So because Service Canada is under Employment and Social Development Canada, you need to click on Employment and Social Development Canada. And then under the service and information, you click on campaigns. And that's where you're going to see the programs and services for seniors. And on that page, as you can see, you have all the information regarding not only the Canada Pension Plan, the Guaranteed Income Supplement, and the old age, but also any information regarding caregiving benefits, how to stay safe at home, and how to avoid being victim of a fraud. And that's going to be my next slide, actually. Note that there's always a variety of scams and fraud that are happening in Canada, and there's always new ones that are invented daily. And many scammers try to imitate the government offices to gain access to your personal information. It is very important to never give your social insurance number over the phone or by email or by text or anything like that. So do not be afraid to say no. Usually, any agent from the government will not threaten you. It will not have an urgency. We don't ask you to or be paid or ask to be paid by cryptocurrencies, for example, or by other. It's always a direct deposit, usually. And if you don't have direct deposit, or if you don't know, you cannot have that, it's a check that is sent to you. And again, we do not ask any personal information. So never give your full name and your date of birth or your social insurance number. Unless it is you that are contacting the government, do not give that to anybody, please, because there's so many frauds that are going on. One more thing, if you search on the Canada.ca on the search field, if you search for Benefits Finder, this one is a tool that will help you identify the benefits for which you may be eligible. And that can be benefits from the federal, but also from the provincial or territorial government. So it's a kind of a questionnaire that is anonymous. It doesn't it doesn't keep the answers once you submit your information. It just gives you a list of different benefits that you may be eligible for. So that's a great tool as well to have. So again, you can find that on the Canada.ca website. And I am now ready for you for any questions. I put here again the website, Canada.ca, as well as the link for the eService.Canada.ca form that you can do online if you want an agent from Service Canada to call you back. And you are welcome and free to also call the toll-free number 1-800-O-Canada or the public pension toll-free number, which is 1-800-277-9914. So I'm mindful of the time. So if you have any question, please do so.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. That was an incredibly helpful and really detailed presentation on some important topics. So thank you for sharing that.